Want to find out if the company culture is the right fit for you while interviewing with them? Want to find out how to navigate it effectively when you're in? Or do you want to understand your company culture to see if your project is going to be supported or stuck? Watch this video for 4 specific ways you can understand your company culture that can make or break your endeavor. Hello, this is Dr. OLGATARA, helping you engage the hearts and minds of your coworkers. If you have been stuck driving the change that you are in charge of, or making successful that team that you are standing up within the existing organization, or to understand the culture of the company that you are interviewing with or just joined and it has been ambiguous, then by the end of this video, you will know 4 strategies to find out and really understand how things are really get done around here. And this works regardless of the industry or where the company is located or how old it is or its history. As an organizational consultant and coach, I've had the privilege to help numerous leaders align culture in their organizations. If you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, lead a company, lead an organization, or lead a team, and would like to work with me on aligning organization and aligning culture in your organization, I can give you details about that at the end of this video. Before we dive in, let's level set on what culture is and what it is not. There are many perspectives on what culture really is. Some people say it's employee morale, others say that it's climate or reputation or behaviors, or employee value proposition, or work environment, or core values and core values that are identified and articulated, and things like this. And these are mostly not inherently wrong, but they're focusing on 1 or 2 elements of culture, or just an aspect of the larger concept that culture is. It is a very tangible yet nebulous thing. You can see and feel its power to produce different results. Dr. Edgar Schein's shortest definition of culture is the way things are done around here, and this includes the way people think, act, and perceive. When you're looking to understand your company's culture, it is helpful to remember that culture's primary functions are to keep things familiar and predictable, and to keep the organization's memory of what leads it to success. Number 1, observations and asking why. This is easier if you are new, maybe a little bit more challenging if you are native, but totally possible. You would need to challenge your assumptions and preconceived notions and things that you know about how things are done around here while you are observing. And while observing, I want you to just pay attention, take note of things, but don't interpret them just yet. Take note of things that you're curious about. Say why people are being dressed casually when it's Wednesday. Or maybe look for things that don't make sense to you, that you don't understand yourself how it's done, even if you're doing them yourself. For example, if meetings are scheduled back to back and you're supposed to be on time, but the meetings are located on different floors or even in different buildings. If there are things that even you do on a regular basis, but you don't know why, take note of that. For example, if in a team meeting you're being asked a question, the team is being asked a question, and there is silence until the most tenured person speaks, that's a habit like that, you want to take note of that. That's a symptom of a culture. Curiosity and an open mind are your biggest friends at this stage. Have fun with it. I think it's really fun. Later, at the next stage, you will be talking to people and you will be discussing with them why things are done this way, what do they mean, but for now, just simply notice, pay attention, and notice things and take note. Now, at the second stage of this strategy, you are going to be talking to people and you're going to be asking them why. Ask them why and listen, and then ask why again, and ask again. You can ask them why several times until you feel like you get to the bottom of the beliefs and assumptions that are driving that behavior that you have noticed before. You may uncover something odd, and that's okay. Companies evolve, and what made sense to it at the beginning may not make any more sense to where the company is at today. On the other hand, you can uncover something very irrational, something that was created as a workaround to something that was an obstacle. Others saw it as effective and replicated it and then passed it on as something that's effective. And that workaround may still be in the system of your company today, even if the obstacle itself is no longer there. If you're leading a change and it is stuck, your observations and discussions about why can help you understand how to make your change adopted. And if you're new, if you're interviewing with a company, or if you're new, this strategy will help you understand what is driving the company and how to navigate it. Number 2, stories and urban legends. Stories and urban legends tell us so much about organizational culture. Stories develop as the organization grows, as people grow on the way to success together. Culture develops through people learning together on the way to success. And they put together these stories and urban legends about how they achieved success, or what was in the way, why they were unsuccessful, what are the obstacles, as something that is worth passing along to others to learn and understand and navigate and be successful within the company. You may uncover legends and stories that are exaggerated facts or even no longer true, but still shaping the expectations and behaviors of every day, helping people navigate the culture the way it was shaped before, but still doing it, perpetuating what was set as habits before. This is important for a few reasons. Stories show collective meaning making. What do people in the organization make of the events described in the story? Stories get repeated in the organization as its reality. Stories teach us a lesson about how a sequence of events can be repeated. What are the do's and the don'ts? What will happen if you do a certain thing? Say, for example, if you ask a question in a meeting, or if you challenge a decision that your boss is making in front of your team members or in front of his or her peers, and these consequences may be different. Those parts of the stories land in the culture as its rules, the do's and the don'ts. Comment below with one rule that you have learned from the stories that you've heard from your coworkers. Strategy number 3, culture eats strategy for breakfast and how this can help you understand it. Ask company residents about what is helping them achieve the goals and deliver on the strategy and what is in the way. The answer is going to help you identify how exactly the company is in its own way, and also what is the source of pride and identity, the desirable identity for its employees. Fair warning, you may uncover things that you will want to change, but you may not know exactly what to do, how to go about making this change happen. If that is so, and you would like to make shifts to your organizational culture, I will tell you more about how to do that in just a minute. Number 4, what relationships in your company can say about culture. Since one of the functions of organizational culture is to keep things predictable and familiar, relationships can tell you a lot about the organization. Relationships are conditioned by organizational culture as well as societal and occupational culture. Occupational culture is your professional culture, so say if you're in sales or in your finance or you're in IT, you have different occupational cultures. There are many aspects to workplace relationships that you can learn about, but for this sake, for the purpose of learning about the culture, let's focus on the few. Pay attention to what people say and do in meetings. How do they behave in cafeteria and in the hallway? How do they behave in meetings with you and in conversations with you? Pay attention to what they say, what do they talk about, how they talk about it, what are their takeaways, what are the next steps, and how do they follow up on those next steps after those meetings and conversations. Once upon a time, I was following up with a coworker from a different department on a task that they were supposed to do. I found out that they didn't do the task because they thought it was no longer needed. Is that something that is possible in your organization? And what would you make of that if somebody did that? Once you have enough information, find a person that you trust who is also versed in the company culture and discuss with them how what you notice can support or hinder either you in your role or the change or innovation that you are leading. I expand more on how to get along with your coworkers in another video. If you wanted to check it out, I put the link below in the description. So now you know how to understand your company culture if you are interviewing, if you are new on the job, or if you are leading a change or starting up a new team within the organization. We discussed what culture is and what culture is not, as well as 4 ways to determine what is your company culture. The truth is, it is much easier to build relationships with your coworkers when you are co-located, when you can see each other in person, have a random conversation about the weekend or the weather or traffic. Things tend to get more difficult, more challenging when you are remote. For that, I've put together a guide on how to make a virtual collaboration successful. Feel free to download it from the link below in the description to this video. If you like this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your coworkers, leaders, and friends that you care about. Please comment below with helpful if this video helped you, and do subscribe to my channel to get notified every week when I post a new video. Now, if you are a business owner or you lead an organization and you need more than understanding your company culture or your own measurement of it, and you want it done in a more formal way by an expert, by an independent party who is also an expert in shifting and realigning organizational cultures, go to my website, drolgatara.com, to learn more about the custom culture work that I do and to fill out an application. From there, if it looks like we're potentially well suited to be working together, then I or somebody on my team will be reaching out to you directly. Like this video and tell me in the comments below or in the survey, I put the link below in the description, what further questions or concerns do you have about organizational culture, and I will do my best to make a video to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.